How's it going, everybody? Kayaks and camp stools up here on top of Mount Herman. When I started, there was this beautiful, scenery, and right now I'm above the clouds, which is honestly still pretty beautiful. Up here on top of Mount Herman, got a nice SOTA summit. I think I did like 35 contacts. I'll splash the map up here in a little bit. Worked Japan, 20 meters from KH1 into my off-center fed, and then flipped over to 15 meters, and the very first one in the bag was Christian out in France, which is exactly who I was hoping would work me from from France. Look how beautiful that is. That's wild. I came up this little mountain road in my Hyundai Elantra, my rental. Didn't think I was gonna make it, but I did. So here's what we're rocking today. Right, pretty similar to the last one. KH1 run here through my Sony recorder because I forgot my speaker. KH1 Pico paddle. I might have to tighten these up. Actually, I just realized that I have my Allen key right there. I could have tightened it up. They're getting a little floppy or a little sloppy in there. So I was definitely making a lot of mistakes. Cheap Amazon headphones. Of course, my KH1 bag. Eberlestock Bandit. Also my tripod today. Water, a rain jacket. Got caught out in the rain yesterday. I was going to do a summit. Where was I? Not Evergreen. Oh, in Golden, Colorado, right by the Spyderco factory, which was pretty exciting for me, honestly. But ended up getting rained out, and it was raining sideways. The wind was almost knocking me over, so I had to scrap that one. But I did get to go to Lichen Peak, and that was neat. Little Dude 6. So one thing I did with my Little Dude 6, I don't think I've talked about it before, is I got some really big heat shrink that I had left over from a different project, and I heat shrunk the bottom so that if I wedged it in a rock, I wouldn't jack up the carbon fiber, because I don't want to split that. It's a very lightweight pole, so you can, I don't know if you can see that, like I can flex it with my hand, just squeezing it a little bit, and I don't want to break that. So I put on this nice glue lined heat shrink to protect that, and then proceeded to never actually wedge it in a rock. But you see, I still adorned it with a little Dude 6, so I can still represent ham radio dude. Of course, I forgot to bring my bungee cord, so I pulled out some of my string. Ooh, getting a little washed out. Pulled out some of my string, wrapped it around this convenient blown up log right here. And yeah, that was it. About 30 minutes, 35 QSOs that just kept coming. Had a pretty steep pile up there. This flag, this sign right here says that paragliding from here is dangerous. And I've never paraglided before, but I'll tell you what, it seems pretty dangerous. But I bet that this is a beautiful spot to paraglide from. If there weren't a whole bunch of clouds right there, I'm at what, 8,600 foot elevation right now. My hike the last couple days, I started at 5,500 foot elevation, and coming from about 250 foot in Virginia wasn't too bad. But I'll tell you what, starting this hike out at like 7,500 or whatever it was, like I got winded closing the car door, and then my slow saunter up to the summit here, it really kicked my butt. But I made it. I got plenty of water, no snacks, so I'm lacking in that regards, but I could eat some bugs or whatnot. One thing, I don't know if you can see all these ants crawling around, but I didn't sit down for the entire activation because I didn't want them to have this like big salty fleshy thing that they were like, wow, this tastes good, and the next thing you know, I'm like getting attacked by all these ants. So I was in this awkward like catcher's squat the entire time, and I stood up and straight up almost passed out because of all the blood stuck in my legs. Like stood up, felt myself start to go lightheaded, had to bend over and grab a rock before I like hit the deck. Make sure I talk everything. Oh, so one thing that I really like trying to do with this, if you do the the off-center fed job with this K6ARK and the KH1, is I try to get my counterpoise up on like a bush or something, and that really seems to help me get out more. I try not to drape it on the ground. Sometimes I don't have a choice, and when it's on the ground, it works just fine. But in Jason's one guy opinion, I think it works better if I can get my counterpoise up off the ground like that. So that's what I did today. Worked France on 20 meters, which was a big surprise to me. And then, did I say France? I meant I worked Japan on 20 meters. France on 15 meters. I could probably stick a dummy load on my KH1 on 15 meters and still work Christian out in France. He must have a super station because he was the very first one to come back to me. Anywho, I got about a mile down. The road that I came up here on in my Hyundai, Elantra sedan rental, I thought I was gonna have to turn around or add a lot of distance onto this hike. But I made it. Typically I drive a Tacoma, and I absolutely would have had it in 4-wheel coming up this road, but apparently you can do it in a front-wheel drive sedan. So I don't know if any of the reports say that a high clearance vehicle is required. It absolutely is not, but wow, it would have been nice. All right, I'm going to cut to that sign so you can read it. Due to military flight operations. U.S. Air Force Academy. Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure the Air Force Academy is down in Colorado Springs. So I'm going to cut to the activation. I'm probably going to chop a lot off the back end because it ended up being like a 30-minute film. All right, thanks everybody. Oh. All these ants are freaking me out. I feel like I'm not going to be comfortable for this. All right. Gonna crouch because there are red ants crawling everywhere, and I am a big salty boy that I don't want them to pay attention to. Oh, my recorder's almost dead. We'll see how long it lasts. One to one. Whew, there's a bunch of ants on the ground right here. Oh, hopefully they leave me alone. Mount Herman, 0 miles away. It's because I'm on top of it. All right, I'm spotted. Here we go. W5 KEB. N0TA. There he is, W0MNA. W6SFA. WN4AT. That was 10. 10 and 8 minutes I activated this park. Well, it's a park and a summit. NT6E. K1LB. WW7B. First Canadian. KE8 WKM. Is that a JG? 0? I think I'm working Japan right now. going to 15. I just want to. There he is. There he is, buddy Jason. Kigs. Oh man, oh my legs. Oh, ooh, I'm gonna pass out. Whoa, sitting down. All right. Oh.